What is going on? It's your boy JDM, Jason Dowdy Music. Welcome to this edition of Producing for Artists, where you can master your craft and you can create your future. The purpose of this group has gotten a little deeper this week. So, we're going to go over some mindset things that I think I had a little bit of an epiphany. So, I want to share that with you. But the purpose of this group is to help musicians out there, whether you're a music creator of any kind, whether you're a producer, an instrumentalist, an artist, a singer, whatever you are, right? To help you make money from that. But even more important than that, like I really want to help everybody out there who had a dream at one point and you gave it your all and you didn't quite get there. I want to help you figure out your next steps and how you because music never leaves you. Music kind of chooses you. You didn't choose music, right? And it's always there, and it's always like knocking at your door and tapping you on the shoulder and saying, "Hey, you were put on this planet to do music." Right. And sometimes, you may, when you're younger, have dreams and aspirations of being the next big thing, right? Or something like that. And maybe you tried, or maybe you gave it a half effort or whatever it was, or maybe you just wanted to make a living out of music, but you never had a chance to do it. I've been fortunate. Most of my life, I have been doing music for a living. Now I'm not, but for the majority of my career, I was singing on stages and recording and doing a lot of stuff that I wanted to do. But now I'm at a point in my life where music is still here, but I'm not necessarily doing it for a living, so I don't get to do it as much as I want to. So, what this group is all about is for people like that. Maybe you think, hey, my time has passed. I can't do music anymore. I got too many responsibilities. I got to do a 9 to 5. I got to do something, real, right? Maybe you're in that mindset. This whole group, this whole project, everything that I'm doing here is to help you figure out a way to do music more and to make some money at it, right? So, that being said, let's dive into the agenda for today. So, as always, we always go over mindsets, some marketing, some monetization ideas, and some music creation ideas. And then we do a little bit of a music review as well. I don't have any tracks in for a music review this week. As this group grows and as people catch on, that's just going to, we're going to have probably too many to deal with, right? And then I'm just going to have to prioritize and whatnot. But for now, we don't have one today. If you have a piece of music you would like reviewed, send it in to Jason at producingforartist.com. Thank you, Salters. I appreciate that. I'm going to bring up that. I'm going to bring this up right now. Here we go. Show the email address. And I'll leave this up for most of this live stream. Jason at producingforartist.com. If you have a piece of music you'd like reviewed, number one, send it to that email. But number one, tell me what the purpose is of that music, right? A lot of us just create music to be creating it because we like the way it sounds and it's fun, which is cool, which is fine. But if you want to do something with your music, you have to have a purpose in mind while you're creating. Is it a track for an artist? Is it a club beat? Is it something you thought might be good for a particular show or film? Uh, Maybe it's for a reality show, a podcast, whatever it is. Like whatever you like. I envision this piece of music being here. Let me know that. And then what we do in the review is number one, we'll listen to it and we, get all of your great ideas. And if you happen to be in the chat, ask you, hey, how did you do this? How did you do that? Or this part's fire. What are your secrets? And then number two, if there's anything we can think of to help you improve, we could do that as well. It can be MP3. That just makes it easier to send over email, Salter. So send it MP3. Let's do it. Send it on over. I don't think I've heard anything from you in a long time, actually. So that'd be cool. Send it to Jason at producingforartist.com. All right. Cool. So let's hop into. So let me give you the agenda for today. What we're going to be talking about. So we're going to go, as always, at the beginning of this. I like to go to producingforartist.com and go over the group resources. So the free things you can get for being in the group. If you're not in the group, just look for producing4artist.com, or sorry, just producing for artists in Facebook. It is a private group now, so you may have to. You know what? Let me throw the link in the chat. That'll probably help. Yo, what's up, Aaron Island? I'm gonna put it here. Let's see. Producing for artists. All right, I'm gonna throw it in the chat. Oh, no, no, the group, sorry, the group. Here we go. Here's the link. All right. So that's a link to the group. If you haven't joined yet, there's some free stuff you can get here that I'm about to show you. So let me dive right into it. Let me share my screen. And I'm going to go to the Facebook group, which I think is this one. No, it's this one. There we go. All right. All right, cool. So when you get to the group, number one, we have a live stream every Saturday at noon Eastern time. Music submissions right there in the cover photo. If you want to know where to send it, it's Jason at producingforartists.com. Um, we are small and mighty. We have 189 members. When I started redoing this live stream maybe 5 weeks ago, we were at about 100. And we're a private group now instead of a public group now. Just want to make sure that the people that actually want the help are joining the group. And then if you go to this section right here, files, you're going to see a few things that might help you out. So if you need help with your music, this goes over. Hold on, I think it downloads a PDF. Oh no, it brings you to the post. It's a little tricky in a group. All right. You know, if you're somebody that needs beats, if you're an artist, I have a 100 pack for $47. If you want to learn how to produce, there's a producing for free course. You can sign up and get that. And then, there's some other services as well. But let's get to the free stuff. That's why we're here. Get your first sync placements. So if you open this guide, it'll take you to the post. Here we go. If you open this guide, there's a download link where I have a bunch of videos and some resources on getting your first sync placement. So if you've ever been interested in, like, here it is, it's 11 videos. If you've ever been interested in getting your songs into TV or film or podcast or streams or whatever, this will show you how to a proven strategy that will get you there. Um, I've gotten stuff on like NBC, on Bravo, on what's the Telemundo, right? Like on several different television shows and things like that by doing this process. So it's a free course. Pick it up while you can. It won't be free forever, but if you're early to this group, then I just want to make sure you get rewarded for being early, right? Awesome. Oh, AI, you sent something to my email as well. All right. Well, there should be time to listen to both tracks, Salters or AI. If you both send something in, we should have time for two music reviews. Not a problem. All right, cool. So let's see what else is free real quick. All right, I'll go into the files. There's a Vox City one-shot pack. So if you use one-shots, if you're a producer, basically what I did was I just sang a lot of different types of notes and long notes and vowels and things like that into a microphone, ran it through OVox, which is like a vocoder, from Waves, put a bunch of different effects on it, made some keys, some drums, some other things out of my voice. It's a free one-shot pack you can use there. There is the music libraries and supervisors tracker. Actually, this is included with the get your first sync placement. So, but it just has a list of all the different music libraries out there, what they do, ways to contact them, how to track your responses, and all that kind of stuff. Creating a persona for your ideal fan, your story template, producer links, just a bunch of free stuff in here. So if you join the group, I just want to make sure that everybody who's in the group knows that that's there. And, just so you have resources if you want to figure out ways to monetize your music. All right, cool. And then one other thing real quick, at the beginning of all of these, I do want to show the website in case, especially if so right now, this group is growing into a monetize your music type of, program. There's still a lot of learnings to happen. There's still a lot of courses to create, so it's not quite there yet. But if you go to Producing for Artists today, especially if you are an artist or an artist that just wants to learn how to either produce their own music or more about songwriting, singing, mixing, recording, all of those types of things, that's what Producing for Artists is today. And they can sign up for a free course to kind of learn the basics of FL Studio specifically. So let me share the screen to that real quick. Producing for Artists. Okay, there we go. So here's the website. It's just producing4artists.com. You come here. There is the free training is the big button on the front. It tells you all about it. Here's a sneak peek into the production course. some testimonials, free training, all of that. And then there's also, the individual courses here, and then there's some services. And here's an affiliate program. So, like I said, if you know somebody, you can sign up for this affiliate program. And if they end up buying one of the courses or something like that, you can get half of the money. So, if you want to spread the word, feel free to do that, get a little extra cash that way. And then there's also a Beats page. And if you need to contact me, you can always contact me here. All right, cool. All right, so that was the spiel. Let's hop right into the content. So let me stop sharing my screen. Just leaving class, might be interested in mentoring. Oh, thanks. All right, Salters. Appreciate that. Um, I do offer some mentorships, especially if you want to learn more about producing an FL Studio or about this whole monetize your music. I'm deep into sync licensing stuff right now. So if you are looking for tips and tricks on how to produce your music for sync licensing, how to reach out, how to export your files, how to add meta tags, how to make sure that you get placed or give yourself the best opportunity to get placed. Um, More about music creation techniques, mixing, any of those types of things. I do offer a mentorship program. There is, I should share that too. If you go to services, right here at the top under services, you can apply now. Just ask some questions. I just want to make sure I am not mentoring somebody who I can't help, right? So it asks a lot of questions like what you want to do with your career, to make sure you're serious about it. Because it would be a waste of both of our times if you sign up for mentorship and I'm not actually helping you, right? So it just makes sure that we're asking all the right questions. And then if I feel like I can help you reach that next level, we can partner together. Cool. All right. Let me stop sharing. All right. And I just noticed I have two separate chats. Oh, AI. All right. So I see AI. I see you in a chat. I know you're not popping up on the chat overlay. I'm not sure why, but I do see you in the other chat. So I'll be sure to kind of flip back and forth and make sure I'm answering any questions or, if you have anything to say, sharing that with the live stream. All right, cool. So this time we are going to talk about mindsets. So in the mindset section, we're going to talk about risk. We're going to talk about fear, and we're going to talk about the almost person out there. Now, I know that's very cryptic right now, but I had an epiphany this week, so I definitely want to share that to help. Hopefully, it helps anybody out there watching this stream who's struggling with their mindset, who's kind of on the fence on things and trying to decide, should I really try this music thing or should I just do it as a hobby? Some of the things I'm going to share about my own personal life and what I'm trying to do, hopefully that will help you. We're going to talk about marketing. I think I just want to talk about Chat GPT in general or any AI tool and some of the misconceptions people have about it, especially people who aren't embracing it. If you want to do something in life, embrace AI, man. Not you, Aaron Island, but I'm talking about artificial intelligence. Don't go embracing people. I just meant artificial intelligence, right? Jump on the train. You may feel like you've already gotten left behind, but believe me, you haven't. It's still early on. There's still a lot of people out there who are not willing to change or not willing to learn about ChatGPT and other AI tools. Um, we're just scratching the surface on what it can do. It can help you so much. And if you're not using AI, somebody else is, right? And they're going to get way ahead of you and you're going to get left behind. So, we're going to talk about Chat GPT in general. I'm going to show some ways that I've been using it. But I'm barely scratching the surface on what it can do. I don't even have a paid subscription. I'm just using the free stuff. But the world is yours if you learn about this technology. Trust me. All right. And then monetization, I'm actually going to break out my profit and loss sheet. And it's going to kind of go back to mindset. I think we're going to do that at once. So the first thing we're going to talk about is mindset, and I'm going to break out the profit and loss sheet. It's small. I don't spend a lot of money on this music thing. It's more time and effort than anything. But right now it's a loss. I want to show you how much of a loss that it is because you really have to pay attention. It's easy to get caught up in buying this plugin, buying this program, buying this course, buying entering a tournament with entering a fee to enter a tournament or whatever it is, subscriptions out there. like you can end up spending a lot of money. And if it's just a hobby, unless you're just really doing well and you got the money to spend, cool. But I think most of us out there need to watch what we spend, right? So I'm going to go over that. And then because that needs to be part of your plan, no matter if you're doing music as a hobby or want to make something out of it, you should track your spending, right? Okay. And then music creation, we're going to do the music reviews first, and if there's time at the end, we'll talk about the fact that it's okay to copy other people, especially in the beginning. All right, cool. Oh, Salters is saying, "What up, AI?" If you're in the chat, Aaron Island, yes, embrace me. Yeah, don't go embracing people unless no means no. All right, all right, cool. All right, so let's talk about mindset first. You have to you have to take risks in order to get anywhere, and I think this is my problem. I am a if you were to play me in poker, I'd be that person where you would know my game right away. Like if you are a poker player, I don't know who's a poker player out there, but there's different ways that people play. There's like the I want to bully people around and bet high all the time type of person. There's the I'm hanging on to every cent that I got and I'm only going to make a play if I have all the cards and have the best hand. And there's in between there, there's all sorts of different playing styles. I've always been the risk averse, hold on to every penny that I have type of person. But not taking a risk is a risk in itself. Risk can lead to reward sometimes. Yes. Bigger they always say bigger the risk, the bigger the reward. That's not necessarily true though either, because you can, if you're not making an informed risk, if you're not risking your money on something that it doesn't necessarily need to be a sure thing, but you need to have something behind that risk that you are confident about. Right. So the mistake that I've made is being too risk averse, like not taking any risks, like holding on to every cent that I have, barely spending any money, trying to make something happen. Working, doing this whole producing for artists thing, I feel like I've built something really cool here, but nobody knows about it because I have not spent any money getting the word out, which gets you into digital advertising and other things like that. You don't want to hop in with a lot of money at first if you don't know what you're doing, right? There is a strategy to everything you try with digital marketing, especially like if you're running Facebook ads, Google ads, YouTube, whatever it is. You have to realize that it takes time. And there's going to be a point in that time where you are only spending and you're either seeing very low rewards or not any rewards for a while. Like it takes a minute for people to first know who you are, understand what you're offering them, understand how you're going to help them in their life, and understand what problem you're trying to solve for them, and all of that kind of stuff. So that being said, I mean, not every people watching this, people in producing for artists in this group, they may not necessarily want to do digital advertising, or maybe their goals are different. Um, which is fine. Like I'm not just only talking about digital advertising. I'm talking about your life. Like you have to take a risk, whether that's spending money, whether that's putting yourself out there by recording a video and doing a live stream like this. Like maybe that's your risk. Maybe it's reaching out to influencers and strangers to help you get out there. Maybe it's reaching out to music licensing companies because you want to give your music every shot that it can have to get out there and get into the public view, right? Maybe it's sending in a beat for a beat battle, right? You run the risk of getting ridiculed. Everything good that happens in your life happens because you took a risk, because you faced a fear that you had and you got over it. All right. So that being said, let's hop into the monetization part of this. And like I said, I'm an open book. I'm completely transparent. So when I share on here, it's all in hopes that it helps somebody else out there. All right. So let me share the P&L. All right, cool. Let me see what that looks like on the screen. Make sure it's as big as it can get. Here we go. All right. So real big in the lower left corner, you can see that my total expenses for 2024 has been $1,600 or so. The income that I've generated from music has been about $1,000. All right. And then I've got it broken down at the bottom. You can see that like BeatStars was about 378. There's something called Beatopia I sent some music into, and I got $9 from them this year. um, ASCAP has been the biggest revenue generator at 611. DistroKid, pennies. And then I've got producing for artists at BeatFunnel and affiliate links, which I haven't really pursued that much this year, and they have brought me zero money. Right. Okay. And then in the spending, you can see it what tracking your spending does is it holds you accountable. It is so easy to just buy things because you impulse buy. And if you never track it and you never keep the receipt, this number, you likely don't know what this number is. If you don't know what that number is, then that's a terrible place to start, right? So you can see here, I've bought a subscription to Inodot, which is where I host my Jason Dowdy music site. I'm actually going to probably cancel that subscription going into the new year to keep my costs down because I've invested in System.io, which does everything that I need to do, including email list management, creating funnels, creating a website, affiliate programs, like all of that kind of stuff. So I'm just putting my beats, embedding my BeatStars Beat Store on that site. So in case I need to send somebody there, I can. But I'm going all in on System.io. It's going to reduce costs, but it does everything that I need. BeatStars, um, every year the money I make from BeatStars has been more than the cost of being on the platform, and I do get the pro subscription, so I can drive my own traffic to my own Beat Store. Plus, you can take advantage of the marketplace that they have there. Arcade as a plugin that I use all the time, so I'm hanging on to that. Restream, so I can stream every week. There is a cost associated with that, and I've just re-upped for the year. Here, let me reduce. You can't really see the rest of it here. Let me minimize the screen again. This might be hard to read if you're on a phone, but I also have Lecter. So Hannibal Lecter Beats, he's doing a program with me. It's $15 USD every week, where he has a program where he uses BandLab. So it's sending a lot of DMs my way, and I'm sending people through my funnel to sell this beat funnel, which so far hasn't generated any sales, but we're trying it out. This is kind of a test pilot type of thing. If this beat funnel number gets to be more than the cost, then I'm going to keep going with it, right? You got to try things out. You got to take some risks. All right, and then MediaFire, that's where I host all of the courses and files and things like that, so I can deliver products to people. I took a course called Text to Money, and then office supplies. Right, this is like cameras, microphones, the lighting that I have to make the streams look good and stuff like that. All right. Now that being said, I mean that's kind of boring. Is Arcade goated? I remember when you went to Inodot, glad you found the system. Yeah. Cool. Is Arcade goated? Meaning, is it the greatest of all time? Uh, it depends on what you do. I just find it really easy. Like, it has sample libraries, instruments, like ways to manipulate the samples. Uh, you can put it in any key that you need. It just kind of has everything into one. You know what? Let me share my screen. I know this is a little bit off topic with going over monetization and stuff, but let me bring up FL and I'll show you what it looks like. Is it the greatest of all time? I don't know. I don't. There's so many plugins out there that I have not tried. I mean, probably Contact. Like Contact, depending on the libraries that you have, might be the greatest of all time, but it's also not cheap, right? So it's a little more expensive. I would say Arcade is probably the greatest for people starting out, and you want to have a lot of variety and a lot of flexibility in your programs and your plugins. I would say Arcade is a great place to start. So let me open up FL, and I'll just show you what it looks like. And I got a Black Friday deal, so it was like it was like 60 something dollars for a year subscription, but I think the subscription's more like, 120. All right, cool. Let me share. Hold on, let me stop screen sharing real quick. All right, I'm gonna bring up Arcade just so I know. Salters, I think you're the only one watching right now, so I mean, you're my audience, so oh, no, no, Aaron Island's watching too. All right, cool. Yeah, and we need more social proof as well. Thank you, AI. That is a great point. So, um, getting your stuff on TV and film, that'll give you some social proof, but also if you do some digital advertising, you get your name out there and all of that, then people start to buy your whatever it is that you're selling, whether it's music or whether it's a program or whatever it is. They start to use it, you start to get good feedback, and then you can trade free things for testimonials. That's one way to do it. But yes, it's definitely, social proof is extremely important. All right, it's definitely a cheat code. I may get Arcade again. You haven't used it in 3 to 4 years. All right, cool, AI. Aaron Island, you paid 1,400 bucks for your contact library, but it is worth it, right? If you're making the money to cover the costs, it's worth that investment. I'm not making that money yet. So I'm starting off using the tools that I can afford, because it's more about the musician and the creative mind. You can manipulate stock plugins or anything like that. Be wise with your money. Use what you have. Create things that are, like for example, uh, Felonious Monk. I don't know. I think probably both of you have run across his music before. He's uh, currently incarcerated, and he uses a jailbroke like tablet and some like dollar store headphones, and he makes incredible music, like sampling and other things, right? It's all about the musician. It's all about your creativity. It's all about using what you have, make some money from that, put that money, invest it back into yourself, and then maybe you can get something like a contact library. If you have, you know, you might, yeah, Monk is the goat, yes sir. um, you may have an opportunity where you send in for sync licensing and you're using what you have, and then be like, oh, this is really good. If you had better tools, we could really use this. Hey, if a sync licensing library is willing to like give you a chance like that, it might be worth investing upfront, moving some funds around, going without eating out for 6 months or whatever it takes, right? But it might be worth investing upfront, saying, "Hey, I did what you said. I invested in that, the library that you recommended. Here's some of my new stuff. It should, and it'll be at the quality that they're looking for." But use common sense, right? You don't want to spend all of your money upfront. All right. Monk music is good too. Yep. All right. So let's take a look at Arcade. Let me bring that up and then I'll share my screen. Hold up. And I'll try to remember to share the audio. And I mainly use Arcade for instruments because when I'm creating, like, unless you create a song based on a sample set that they give you, um, I don't know, it feels like cheating to do that, so I never do that. I always just kind of create my own thing and then use the instruments from this, or if a sample happens to fit, I'll do that. But I'll show you what I'm talking about. So hold on, let me share my screen real quick. And it kind of limits the creative your create like it'll like if you pick a sample pack from Arcade, and I'll show you what I'm talking about in a second. Um it limits you because you're stuck to that chord progression. You have to use that particular chord progression. So depending on what type of producer you are, it might be limiting if you do that. But here we go. This is what it looks like, and I'm gonna see if I can maximize this. All right, there we go. So if you go to, hold on, it's kind of tough to see everything. I may have to switch the screen. So I'm having trouble. Okay, here we go. There we go. All right. So if you go to the lines, what this will do is it will give you, depending on what genre you're trying to produce in, right? Here's dark pop. Hard mode's more like drill beats. Drip is more like trap stuff. Hooked is like vocal samples. Distant voices are what it sounds like monks and things like that singing in the distance. So it's a nice, alternative to like a pad or something like that. Studio keys or pianos and Rhodes. Honey, is like a kind of an R&B feel. Producers, orchestras, all your strings, violins, right? Feel free to oh yeah, let me close that out. Thank you, Salters. Appreciate that. How do I close that? Half the time I don't close it out because I forget where. Oh, there it is. All right. We'll turn off the overlay. All right, cool. There we go. Aura is Atmos, like atmosphere and stuff like that. Chopped are like chopped up instruments from uh mainly like non-copyrighted music because it's so old, if that makes sense. But here, I'll open up a chopped, for example. Here, let me put my headphones on. So you have two things. You have samplers and samples. Sometimes this, instead of samples, it will say instruments, and I'll show you that as well. But let's go with, I don't know, L Mob guitar. Let's hear what that sounds like. I mean, you could just base a song off of that, right? And then you just download, so it doesn't take up too much room on your hard drive. You can just download the sample that you want. So we got this loaded. In the bottom right, I don't think I have enough screen space to show it, but you can choose the key. So I don't know what this has defaulted to, but you actually pick the key of the sample that you want. And then you can just open up your piano roll. And then it's got your samples broken out into a kit. So if you just want that lick, right, you can put it together however you want. And these are all on the white keys, and it normally goes from C4 to C6. Right? It's got a reverse effect there. Oh, I should show this back in the plugin real quick. You can actually, it's got some built-in modifiers in, so how much reverb you're adding, character lo-fi, wide delay, all of that kind of stuff. So if you didn't want any effects on it, you could just, turn them all down, and then you could add your own effects. So it does have that flexibility as well, but you can add it right into the plugin. I'm going to take out the effects for now. So you can hear it's just a nice dry guitar signal. All right, I'm gonna pick one where it kind of plays a chord progression. Drag it out here. All right, you probably wouldn't do that. Let's add another part of that to it. All right, let's go with this. So we're gonna play them in a row. All right, well that's terrible. But the reason I wanted to drag one out is to show you that you can use the black keys to add different types of effects. So let's add this, B flat. No, yeah, B flat. Right, that adds a stutter. That adds a, eighth note stutter. It looks like it was a 16th note stutter above that. And then quarter note stutter. I think that just sustains it. So that adds like a gated reverse filter type thing. That's kind of dope right there. You can make a whole beat out of that. But that's the tool for the most part. Let me go back to the plugin real quick and show you instruments. So one that I use a lot is it's called In a World for TV and film stuff. See if I can find it. They have all the time I use Drum Sesh. There's one called there's Rhythm Culture. There like extra perks over here. Anything but hi-hats is another one, or something like that. Drum breaks. A lot of the time you're just kind of stuck always doing the same, kick, snare, hi-hat sounds or whatever. This will give you some variety in that. It's got some Foley sounds as well, beatbox. Um, drum machinery, so it's got some good trash drums. I use trash drums all the time, especially for hip hop. Um, but in a world, here's one that I use. So not only will you have samplers, but you can go right into the instruments where it will just play one particular instrument. So you have that flexibility to, put it in whatever key you want and just put it in the piano roll. All right. I could talk about this plugin all day. I don't want to waste any more time. I want to get back to the kind of the content of what we're trying to go over. Let me stop sharing. But hopefully, I mean, that's a good overview of Arcade. Let me bring the chat back to see if anybody's saying anything. All right, cool. All right. Would SMS text, I never answered this question. Would SMS text messaging funnel be beneficial? It's beneficial, but it costs money. Um, I started off doing a program with Gabe at Legion Beats. What was it called? MIDI Money. That's where I learned how to do sales funnels, and they charge you for all the text messages you send. So yes, it's beneficial because it reaches people, in a better way because emails get lost, right? But man, you could run up a bill. So unless your funnel is really profitable, unless your return on ad spend is good, um, I would hold off on text messages until you have a proven system that's making you a lot of money, and then you can, kind of crank it up with text messages, if that makes sense. Okay. All right. Let me check, see if AI is still here. All right. Yeah, I'm gonna get Arcade again just to speed up my workflow. Yeah, Arcade's cool. But no matter what, watch your spending, right? Don't go crazy. Your mind is a much better instrument than any plugin, and you likely can create something really outstanding with just what you have, right? So don't kill yourself with that. All right, so you know what? Let's ChatGPT. Just for the sake of time, I want to get to your music salters and AI. So I'm just gonna barely touch on ChatGPT. Um, let me open it up real quick, and I'm gonna put it this way: any problem that you have, ChatGPT or AI can help you with it in one way or another. And if it's not helping you, you're not using it in the right way. So you have to think of ChatGPT or any AI tool that you use as a person, who's there to help you. Um, and if you're not getting the help that you need, it's probably because you're not asking the right questions. And if you don't know the right questions to ask, you can ask ChatGPT, what are the right questions? So it's that easy. I think that's the mistake that most people have. They treat it as an amped up Google search instead of an actual conversation. So that being said, I'll show you a few ways that I've used it recently. As examples, start with the goal, like whatever it is. Like, you know what, ChatGPT, I want to blank. I want to get my name out there. I want to be a well-known pop artist. How do I get there? And then it'll spit out some stuff that's not really that helpful. But if you think of it this way, you're gonna have to provide what you're already doing. Like, you're gonna have to type. You're gonna have to type or do a voice memo or whatever. You're gonna have to tell ChatGPT a lot of things, like what you're already doing, what you've done in the past, what type of musician you are, all of that type of stuff. But it's a two-way conversation, because if you had an actual mentor, if you and I were working together, I would start off by asking a ton of questions to understand who you are, where you want to go, what you've already tried, what's worked, what hasn't, what assets you already have, things you have at your disposal, talents that might set you apart, whatever it is, right? Like, it's going to ask you all of those questions. And if it's not asking you those questions, you got to prompt it. So, hey, ChatGPT, I really want to do X. Can you ask me some questions so you can be my best advisor to give me a list of next steps to take, right? All right, cool. So I'll share my screen real quick. I won't spend long on this though. So we're gonna hop into the music. Let me open up ChatGPT, and I don't even remember the last. I use it every day, all the time. So okay, here's the last thing I used it for. So I was putting a course together on uploading your stuff to for Sync Music, and what they always ask for is a descriptor. And my licensing library provided an example. So I went in and I was like, "Hey, I need to come up with a descriptor for my audio tracks similar to this. What information do you need?" So I asked it a question. What information do you need from me to draft something up for me? And then I provided the example here. It said, "Hey, I need to know the instruments and techniques that you're using, the mood and atmosphere, the genres and styles, what the use case is for, and any distinct elements." I was like, "Cool." So all of these tracks that I'm creating for, mostly like Dateline NBC and, those types of shows, they're all kind of the same. They're all kind of that investigative detective show, suspense building type of music. And I use a lot of the same instruments. It's always pretty much the same moods. Um, I said, "Hey, if you mention a track name, just substitute track name to provide a template. And then please use my previous example to formulate your 10 drafts." And it came up with 10 drafts. And what this does is when I have, and then I said, "That's great. Give me 10 more." And it gave me 10 more. So whenever I'm uploading a descriptor for a track, it just saves me time because I copied and pasted this into a doc. And when I'm uploading, I can just pick one that matches best to the track. And if it doesn't quite match, I could just, change a word here and there. But it just saves me that much time because there's so many steps to uploading stems and different versions and all that kind of stuff. So that's the last way that Chat GPT helped me. Mentors for selling beats. Oh, I think I went over this last time. Yeah. So, and you can see over here, I've got a ton of different categories and chats that I've started with them to help email spam filter optimization and drafting spam-free emails and alternate income for musicians and whatever in the world you want to know more about, you can use ChatGPT to do that. All right, so that's my spiel on that. If you're not using an AI tool, you're a dummy. If you're trying to do anything, I mean, if you're trying to do anything for real, I mean, you got to do it. How to hope to develop a strategy to overcome beat block. Hey, ask ChatGPT, right? Well, actually, I have something that might help you um, with beat block. Um, what do I? It might be in my. It's in my um, producing for artists course, which I think you have. Salters, after this is over, I'm going to send you the module on that. You can use AI to help you with songwriter's block or beat block. Actually, I did invest in a tool last year called MIDI Wizard, which helps a ton. Arcade, right? Like Arcade, that plugin I just showed you. You probably got a beat idea just from listening to that guitar sample, right? Like, that's one way to get you over beat block. And I would say number one, figure out the purpose of what you're creating the beat for first. And you know what? That actually does bring us to the last thing I wanted to talk about in this chat, this live stream, which is it's okay to copy in the beginning. If you have beat block, go find a beat you like and try to copy it. I guarantee, unless you are a genius and a master, you won't be able to copy it directly. You'll have to find a similar sample, right? You'll have to figure out a way to copy it. Go ahead and copy because what you're going to come up with is going to be different anyway. So if you're stuck for like, I'm not sure how I'm going to come up with my next beat, copy one that you love, copy one in the vein that you're trying to go in. Figure out the purpose of what it's for. Find a beat that would somebody else made that would be similar to what you're trying to accomplish. Study it, figure out how they did it, and that'll get you creating your own, your own masterpiece. All right, let's listen to some music. Let's see if AI, you're still here. Oh, what did AI see? Statistically, text hundreds times better than email marketing. Yes, that is true, but that requires an investment. So I would say find something that works. If it's working with email and it's making you money with email only, then you can ramp it up with text, I would say. Otherwise, you run the risk of wasting a lot of it's like it's a lot of money to keep those text messages going. But anyway, let me go to my email and find the music. So bear with me. Just go into Outlook. All right, let me switch to the Producing for Artists account. Let's see what we got. I'm not seeing anybody's beats. AI, I don't see your beat in here. Let me look in the spam. I don't or junk email just in case. Nothing in junk. Inbox. I don't see any beats. I don't see any beats in here, which is all good. That's cool. Salters, I'll send you that module, so maybe you can send something in for next time. Oh, and I just noticed you're on YouTube. You're watching on YouTube. That's interesting. I'm glad I streamed it there. That's cool. All right. And AI, I feel like you were going to send a beat, but I'm not sure if you did or not. I sent it to your email. Oh, it might be to my Gmail because I know you have my Gmail. I'm going to look at my Gmail real quick. Oh, there it is. All right, cool. All right. Let me download it real quick. Or actually, I'm just going to play it in the browser. All right, let me share my screen. All right, this next track is from AI. Aaron Island, let me know if you have a purpose for this track. So is there something you had in mind when you created this track, or are you, so I know you do movies, you do some TV stuff, you do everything, artists, everything. So let me know if you had something in mind, like a purpose for this. And I will find the email. All right, cool. All right, let me share tab audio. All right. Let me know if you guys can hear this okay. AI. Yeah. All right, let me stop sharing. Damn. All right. I mean, so he wrote in the chat, I don't know if everybody can see it or not. He wrote in the chat that there was no real purpose. He was just creating. What I love about that particular track and AI's production style in general is he understands the concept that less is more, right? I think especially early on as producers, or I mean, I still do it. I still overcomplicate my tracks or put too many instruments in and everything. He just picks the right instruments that can be heard clearly, that add something to the track that makes it better. There are a lot of things that can fit in the track, but that doesn't necessarily mean that it needs to be there. So, I would say one thing I do with my production is I'll come up with like especially if it's like a beat for an artist or something like that. I'll come up with an 8 or 16 bars and I throw everything but the kitchen sink at it. And then I start peeling back things. Like what actually needs to be here? What's actually making this track better? Um and sometimes I'll get it down to just the drums and I'll be like, you know what? I'm scrapping all this. And I love these drums though, and I'm going to build something new around the drums. Sometimes it comes down to that, but that's the question you need to ask yourself. And then what you can do is if you do find some, this bass line with these drums with this and that works really well. This sounds awesome. This is what the track needs, and it's adding something to make it better. You can like put those other elements in here and there towards the end of the track, or maybe just in the chorus or something like that, to make the track go somewhere and to add some motion to it. But start with only what you need. Like if you add this instrument, is it actually making the track better, or is it just a filler instrument that you could take or leave that doesn't necessarily need to be there? So thanks for sending that in, Aaron Island. As always, that was an amazing piece of music. I think it's good for an R&B, pop R&B type artist. A lot of different things you could do with that. So if you were just creating to create, that's cool. But I think you have a BeatStars store, if I remember right. But I know your focus has just been on like pay the producer and sync work. So I don't even know if you do anything with your store. I don't know if the world will never hear that track except on this live stream or a beat show here and there. I don't know what your plans are for that, but it's a great piece of music and I hope it doesn't just sit on your hard drive. Was it yeah, The Art of Silence. Thank you, Aaron Island. Yes, sir. And the mix was good. I like how you pan left and right. The like in the beginning I could hear the hi-hats and those like top percussions. Um Sometimes I leave mine down the center or just pan it left or right, but I kind of like the motion that you added with that too as well. But no, I mean, I'm not an expert at mixing. I'm good at mixing. So I just when something is wrong, I'm good at pointing that out. I didn't hear anything wrong really. There's probably some lower end you could take out of if you haven't already. I don't know if you've mixed it yet or not, but some lower end out of the kind of those pad sounds in the middle. So around like 207 is you had a different chord progression on 207 toward in the end, and I think at like 101 or something like that. I'm talking about minute markers, um, where it was nice and open and airy. But then the other sections, I feel like you might be able to take a little bottom end out of those like pad sounds, those atmosphere sounds, because I think it was muddying it up a little bit. That's the only thing I can think of. Um, but okay. Was it Salters is in the Facebook chat now. Was it top down or bottom up mixing? Oh, that's for you, Aaron Island. I don't know how you decided to mix that. All I know is I can always hear your kick drum, Aaron Island. Your kick drum is always clear as a bell. There's never anything interfering with your kick. Your kick is like the star of the show every time, which is cool, especially for that type of beat. You're correct. I hear it too. Thanks. Yeah, no problem. No problem at all. And like that's literally all I do with my mix is um if I'm like, you know what, I can't hear this instrument on its own clearly. What I'll do is I'll solo that instrument and then I'll bring in other instruments one by one to figure out which one is messing with it, which one is fighting for that frequency. And then once I do that, I just mix those two together and decide, what is the most important frequency range for this instrument? What's the most important frequency range for this instrument? And I just, cut out the other interfering ones between the two so I can hear each one clearly. And then I bring back the whole mix and make sure I can just hear each instrument clearly. So I hope that helps. To me, it's not rocket science, but like when I see some of these mixing tutorials, I'm like, I have no idea what you're talking about, dude. And uh, I just compare instruments to each other or vocals or whatever, and do that. And I cut the bottom end out of all the. If it's not a bass or a kick, I cut the bottom out. At least 80 hertz and below out of all that. Most of the time, it's like 120, 130, somewhere around there. Oh, you're learning mixing? All right, cool. Well, if you have anything to share, Salters, let us know. All right. I think I've covered everything in this. Thanks again, AI, for sending that in. Um, just to recap what we talked about today, producingforartists.com. If you want to be an affiliate, you can sign up for that and make half the money. If somebody could benefit from learning how to produce for themselves, learning some basic mixing, um, songwriting, recording, any of that type of stuff in FL Studio specifically. We talked about mindset. Don't let fear hold you back, and take some risks, but make sure they are calculated risks. Marketing, we talked about ChatGPT, and how that can help you solve any problem that you have if you treat it as a conversation versus just an amped up Google search. I showed you my profit and loss sheet, so how much money I'm spending versus how much money I'm making. Not making that not making that much from music, but I'm going to take some bigger risks, and we're going to see how that pans out later this year and into next year. I'm actually going to be recording some ads, so hopefully we'll have something to show for that in next week's stream. Music creation. We reviewed AI's track, and what we learned is that less is more. If it's not adding something to the track to make it better, take it out. Take a minimalistic view of your music creation, and it'll help you hear every instrument clearly and only add what you need. And it's okay to copy a beat at first, right? Like if you're stuck for, I just can't figure out where to start with my next beat. I feel like everything I'm making is just not coming out right. Start with copying. Find a producer that you admire, uh, get one of their favorite tracks, start trying to copy it, and you're going to start figuring out how they did certain things. It's going to amp you up, and you're going to learn some new techniques. And then what you're going to create is going to be different from what they create anyway. All right, awesome. So thank you, Salters. Thank you, AI, for joining this stream. I'm going to cut this up into little modules, little helpful nuggets. Oh, appreciate that, Salters. Appreciate it. And we do this every week. So every Saturday at noon, if you want to learn how to monetize your music through music creation techniques, marketing, and how to have better mindsets, join us.